Well, I heard, I don't know, that taking a ozone maybe in the glass inside the plasma cluster is very short-lived. So it's not reaching even out of the machine.
So to give you an easy answer about this, any machine that you are using, more or less it generates some amount of ozone. This is something that will always be there. This is why there are certain regulated heads of ozone by the government for any piece of machinery that is being used. So there is a certain level that, as you mentioned, exactly, if it is in a small level, it gets eliminated very fast. It does not leave and it's not toxic. Above this level, this certain level, most probably this machinery will not be true to be available in the country because available ozone is high. And same like government, a lot of ozone, although some will be decayed before they reach it, some will be reached. And this is something that you can experience more if you are in a crowd street with the cars. The CO, the carbon monoxide, and the ozone gets higher. Now, what we mentioned about the plasma cluster is that again there is a certain safety there. But think about it, same like medication. There is a safety threshold for medication. There is a certain medication that you can take maximum 1 pill per day. There is a medication that you can take up to 5 pills per community. So with the plasma cluster, if we say this is the safety of it, this is where all the air purifiers with ionizers are lying, because they are not above, because they are regulated at the country. So they are around here. They're big the safety here. This is where sharp plasma cluster is. So this whole difference is the safety threshold that this latency in the technology provides to the user. So what we can say very confidently is that it is the most effective and the safest air purification technology in the market today. Your choice when you are buying, you have HEPA filter only. Please check the HEPA filter quality, but make sure that this is only for dust and you have the ionizers, and in this plasma cluster is a clear blend.
We need to say that especially ozone is irritating the bronchi and the upper airway again. And if you install this kind of technology in the bedroom with the intention to keep your children healthy and provide for them a healthy sleep, and then you produce ozone, you may probably do exactly the wrong thing, and you don't want to be worried about this. So better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
And does the plasma cluster have to run 24/7 in the room, or can I switch it on and off when I need it? What do you recommend for that?
It is effective as long as the device is on, because the ions itself, the life ion is seconds. So they come out, they interact, they stop from existing, and the device will continue pushing more ions. So the recommendation is that as long as you are in the room, or someone from your family members is in the room or in the clinic, keep the device.
What I actually recommend is, in case there is a patient with a dust mites, dust allergy, that they should first of all make sure that they live in a building where they don't get too high humidity from the fresh air, and that they make sure that the humidity is, as you said, 45 to 50%, because dust mites need to have certain humidity in order to have the fungus around that breaks down the shelf scales from the skin that the dust mites actually eat. And on the other side, the dust that obviously contain the particles of dust mites, which is organic material, and they are hovering in the air, but they are also present in the ground and just the mattress. In order to keep a good environment, I recommend in the bedroom to let this plasma cluster run 24/7, because it cleans also the air while nobody is there. Yeah, and at the end you have less and less load of the allergen in the room, and the target would be at least for the 8 hours that you're sleeping close to zero.
I'm a true similar.
And so that would be my recommendation for that. But anyway, so if you don't have anything else to say about this healthy environment, yeah, Olaf, yes, it's very interesting. So plasma cluster is releasing ions, which have a shelf life, or let's say a lifespan of fabulous for seconds. So that means the plasma cluster machine should be inside the room. So for example, if it is in the fresh air unit in the roof, the air will travel sometime through the labs and reach. So it would not be making sense to put it in the fresh air, isn't it? So it should be very close to the mother.
Absolutely.
Because I was thinking maybe can we put into the fresh air handling unit itself and deliver the building, I think the technology would also make sense to keep the pipes somehow basically clean. Maybe that to be sure that the backgrounds we are all, I don't know how it works, but I know from my home that my wife is always worried about what is behind these gutters there. Then she sees the dust around the openings, and then she gets worried that she inhales all the dirt that's coming from there. And you're rightly say. I mean, at the end of the day, to make sure that the air around you is the clean air, you need to have the emission controls.
Yes. I'll answer to the question, but then I have another criteria I want to ask him. So yes, it should be the nearest to the room. So the type of the plasma clusters that we recommend for of the AC is usually at the direct area. So it's at the very near of the room, and it is always only in the air inlet, not in the suction return. So what we are doing is that the generation of the plasma cluster ions happen, and the air that is coming from the AC, just before it enters the room, it pushes and spreads the plasma cluster ions inside the filter. And this, by the way, this is implemented in so many cases because for Sherrif, we have a lot of partnerships in order to utilize our plasma cluster technology. So there are many elevators that, without you knowing, it is in that AC that system which are elevated in the fan system. Like for example, Internet 3 Dubai, all the elevators are empowered with plasma cluster. Or that. It's a cassette that is this size when you work, and you increase it with the certain number of units based on the amount of ions that you need, which we measure based on the size of the room plus the strength of the airflow. So for example, in this room, we say, okay, we need to put 2 or 3 units in the AC of it covered. In other periods, we say we need actually to have it over different lights and multiple units in each type. This always is calculated again by the size of the room plus the airflow that is going from the AC to where the airflow will be able to spread the lights to each. So it is, as I mentioned, putting it in the fresh air or at the beginning of the system, it will not benefit the end user at the home itself. Of course, it may improve the air quality inside the duct itself, but will it reach inside the room or not? Most probably it will not reach inside the room. How much will it improve the air quality in the duct? This is something I cannot answer exactly because we do not have, frankly, a test about this. This is a new idea that just came, and I think we should patent it. And we pay a lot of money for the people. It's a pretty good idea. Actually, my question, sorry, I'm a man. Is it okay if I ask a question? Is the same as what the doctor would have mentioned. As users for the AC in our apartments, how can we be sure what is happening inside the lab? Because I have been here more than 15 years nearby, and I have never had a single client in different places that I have shifted to. Someone that comes from the London Minister has say, we need to open your vacuum order to they do this. I don't do that. I never had this. How can he be sure?
There are service providers because they are very much aware that the gap inside the apartments, which is belonging to the property, not to the common area, but it's in your house, let's say in your apartment, that those ducts are getting dusty, especially if purification does not work properly. For example, if fresh air handling unit supplies not properly purified air into the space, then it is a moist air in big higher humidity, and then mold can grow, not only in the areas which you see, but also inside the duct, especially in the return air duct. So there are mostly 2 grills, right? And one is where the air comes out, and the other grill is where the air goes in. But I'm talking about the air condition. I'm not talking about the ventilation. Because the ventilation, that's 2 different topics. Ventilation has the fresh air supply and exhaust, and the air conditioning is a fan coil unit, FCU, which is just revolving your air, recirculating the air, but it gets mixed with the fresh air, which is supplied to the space. There are service providers who would be clean, disinfecting the air very good. They open the grill, they suck out the this, and let it with disinfect it, and then to work with the chain. Infect the sheets very important. We have there are also many people are not